Welcome to the High Quality CTE Programs of Study webinar series. I am Theresa Cortez and I will be leading this webinar. Paula Boughton will be assisting me. To tell you a little bit about myself, I have degrees in English and curriculum and instruction. I am currently working towards my CAS in administration. I am the instructional specialist for professional development at Monroe 2 Orleans BOCES, where I work with CTE teachers to incorporate high-quality CTE instruction into their programs. This means we work on instructional strategies, formative and summative assessment, and integrated academics to increase student achievement.
And I'm Paula. I have degrees in English and reading, as well as educational leadership. I was the 2018 ACTE Region 1 Fellow, and I am currently the ACTE Region 1 Conference Chair. I'm an administrator at Monroe 2 Orleans BOCES Wamoco Career and Technical Education Center. My focus is on curriculum, instruction, professional development, and support for students with disabilities. This micro-webinar is part of a larger series of webinars focused on the high-quality CTE Program of Study framework developed by the Association for Career and Technical Education. The framework is composed of 12 unique elements that characterize a quality program of study. This webinar specifically focuses on Element 1, Standards-Aligned and Integrated Curriculum.
There are 7 criteria for high-quality, standards-aligned, and integrated curriculum. In this webinar, we will focus on 3 of those criteria, and they are highlighted in red. Specifically, we will discuss aligning curriculum with content and standards for core subjects, incorporating employability skill standards, and authentic student application of integrated knowledge and skills. During this session, we're going to explain how Wamoco's literacy rubrics and tasks align to New York State requirements. Then we will show examples of literacy tasks that demonstrate student understanding of both effective writing and either employability skills or technical content.
Let's begin with some background on New York State ELA and literacy standards, as well as the ELA Regents exam. In this picture, our carpentry teacher is assisting a student with a literacy task. Over the past 7 years, there have been significant changes to standards in New York State. We have recently transitioned away from the Common Core Learning Standards and are currently working under Next Generation Standards, which were adopted in 2017. The English standards are similar to what you would think of in a traditional ELA class and focus on language, reading, writing, listening, and speaking, just as the Common Core Learning Standards did. The standards also include a section specific to content area literacy skills. As a CTE program, we fall within the standards for literacy and science or technical subjects. Within this section, the reading standards require students to be able to analyze, interpret, assess, and integrate information from age-appropriate or complex texts and other sources. And the writing standards require students to be able to use a variety of writing styles, such as argumentative and informative writing. The New York State ELA Regents exam is given to students in 11th grade, and a passing grade is required to graduate. Our local community college also uses a score of 76 or higher to help determine readiness for English 101. The exam is divided into 3 parts and requires students to read and understand text in order to write an argumentative response and an expository or informational response.
This is the Part 2 rubric for argument from the New York State Regents exam. As you look at this rubric, pay attention to both the content and analysis and command of evidence criteria, which include making a claim and supporting the claim with evidence. This is the Part 3 rubric for text analysis taken from the New York State Regents exam. As you look at this rubric, pay attention to the content and analysis criteria and command of evidence, which includes developing a central idea and supporting it with evidence. Our teachers are expected to have literacy tasks every quarter. Text-dependent questions, or TDQs, are brief expository responses similar to what is required on Part 3 of the New York State Regents exam. Written summative literacy tasks, or WSLTs, are argumentative responses, similar to what is required on Part 2 of the New York State Regents exam. Both responses require students to be able to read and annotate text, as well as provide and explain text-based evidence. This is our common rubric used to assess all TDQs. You'll notice that we have aligned it to the next generation learning standards by including the standards at the top of the document. The structure and scoring of the rubric is similar to the Part 3 rubric of the New York State Regents exam, as it is on a 4-point scale and focuses on controlling or central idea and evidence. Next is our common rubric used to assess all WSLTs. You'll notice that we have again aligned it to the next generation learning standard by including those at the top. The structure and scoring of the rubric is also similar to Part 2 of the New York State Regents exam, as it is on a 6-point scale and focuses on claim, counterclaim, and evidence.
Next, we'll talk about the New York State Career and Financial Management curriculum and show examples of how the content can be used to create literacy prompts. In this picture, HVAC plumbing students are having a discussion on employability skills. Career and Financial Management is integrated into all of our CTE courses. As a result, students can earn half a credit for the course while enrolled in CTE. The curriculum is divided into 2 parts, Career Management and Financial Management. Employability skills are included in the Career Management module. This content is one of the sources used for literacy tasks, examples of which will be discussed in the next slides.
This is a sample TDQ that was used in our first-year heavy equipment operation and maintenance program. The prompt was written so that students would respond to Module 7, Basic Communication Skills, of the NCCER core curriculum. The prompt itself asked students to use evidence from the module to explain how one would demonstrate active listening on the job site. Communication is one of the career readiness skills addressed in the CFM curriculum, Module 5. This is a sample WSLT that was used in our second-year cosmetology program. The prompt was written so that students would respond to an article and their experience in the cosmetology clinic. The prompt itself asked students to make a claim about the 3 characteristics of professionalism they would look for in an employee. They are also asked to use evidence from the article and personal experiences to explain why these are the 3 most important characteristics. Professionalism is one of the career readiness skills addressed in the CFM curriculum, Module 5. This response was written by a COS student. Notice that it is multiple paragraphs. It includes a claim statement that specifically addresses the 3 characteristics she would seek, and this student provides evidence from the text as seen in quotes or references to the article, and she explains or elaborates on those pieces of evidence. Clearly, she was using the rubric to guide her response.
Finally, we will provide examples of a text-dependent question prompt and a written summative literacy task that are specific to the technical content from a couple of our CTE courses. In this picture, our first-year exercise science students are reading an article on planking, which will be later used for a TDQ. This is a sample TDQ prompt that was used in our second-year cosmetology program. The prompt was written so that students would respond to information from Chapter 6 of the Milady textbook. The prompt itself asked students to use evidence from the chapter to explain the muscular system and why a cosmetologist needs to know about it. This content is important because cosmetologists work with the muscular system in various capacities. For example, they have to understand facial muscles in order to provide a client with a facial massage. As you can see in this response, the student used the prompt to develop the general controlling idea. She provides evidence from the chapter and cites that evidence, and she has written her response in a well-organized paragraph of 7 to 10 sentences. These are all requirements of the common rubric. This WSLT prompt is an example from our second-year auto technology program. In the prompt, students are asked to respond to a client's concern by diagnosing the cause, correction, and cost for a dim headlight.
As you can see, the WSLT mimics something that the students would see in industry because it is in the format of an email correspondence. This is an excerpt from a response that was written to this prompt by a second-year automotive technology student. In this section, you can see that he has made a claim about the problem and diagnosis. He chose to explain cost later and used it as his counterclaim. He provided experiential and textual evidence and organized the response in several well-developed paragraphs. This type of explanation is something that an auto technician may need to provide a customer.
As you can see from our literacy rubrics and prompts, there are a variety of ways to make standards-aligned literacy relevant to both employability skills and CTE technical content. In doing this, we truly feel like we are partnering with our districts to ensure students are both able to graduate from high school and to be college and career ready. This webinar is one of a series supporting ACTE's High Quality CTE initiative. ACTE has developed evidence-based criteria defining a quality CTE program of study. They also have tools and resources, including a self-evaluation instrument. For more on the High Quality CTE initiative, you can participate in sessions during the ACTE Vision Conference, apply for awards that recognize quality programs of study, or visit the website shown at the bottom of the slide. Thank you for watching this webinar. Good luck in all of your CTE endeavors.